Republican candidate for governor Tom Foley paid almost no federal taxes for 2 years.
The wealthy Greenwich businessman released 3 years worth of tax returns today, but he wouldn't take questions or even allow for any pictures. Our chief political correspondent Mark Davis joins us live now with a breakdown of all the numbers. Good evening, Mark.
Hi, Keith and Ann. Good evening, everyone from the Hartford newsroom. And Ann, you're right. Tom Foley didn't pay much of anything for 2 years, but he did pay in 1 year more taxes than most people make in 3. Like many wealthy couples, Tom and Leslie Foley filed separate tax returns. He released the first 2 pages of his returns for 3 tax years today. In 2010, the year he spent almost $10 million of his own money on his narrow loss to Governor Malloy, he earned about $1 million, mostly from dividends and interest income, and paid close to $300,000 in federal income taxes. The campaign wouldn't allow our TV cameras into the room where the returns were released, but Connecticut CPA Bill Sass was able to examine them for News 8.
Mr. Foley is the classic all-American entrepreneur. He paid a lot of tax in the year 2010.
But Foley paid almost no taxes at all the following 2 years. In 2011, his adjusted gross income was a minus $65,000. He only paid about $1,000 in taxes. His 2012 IRS return showed just $20,000 adjusted gross income and taxes paid of less than $1,000. How could a guy that was making over $1 million a year in interest and dividends 1 year show almost no taxable income for the next 2 years? He still made a lot of money those years, but he apparently had some big business losses.
He probably had a business reverse. From what we gleaned from some of the forms, a business interest was disposed of in 2011. So there was a capital gain, but then on the other hand, a large what we call passive loss.
Foley appears to be a generous man, as his deductions, presumably for charitable donations, were close to $100,000 a year. He did not release his 2013 returns, as he has not yet filed them. Like many wealthy people with complicated tax returns, he has an extension till next month. Now, Governor Malloy released his tax returns last week. You may have heard about it. He and his wife, Kathy, do file a joint return, as many average income earners do. They earned about as much in 2010 together as Tom Foley paid in taxes that year. Live from the Hartford newsroom, Mark Davis, News 8.